All right, people, we're back. We got last night we had Fedor versus Hendo. It was a cool night of fights, man. It's a cool night. There's a couple things I really didn't care for about it. But and I'll get into those. But to kick things off, basically, man, Illegal Elbow Radio on Facebook. You're gonna want to go there and check it out. A delicious Bud Light toast to everybody. So, getting back to it, Tyron Woodley takes out much improved Paul Daly. Paul Daly's wrestling, takedown defense, everything looked really, really good, man. It's just Tyron Woodley, kind of kept the pressure on. It's kind of a lot of these fights tonight. It's like the winners of a lot of these fights really just pushed the pace and kept a lot of pressure on the losers of tonight, basically. I mean, no other better way to say it. Some people are like, actually one guy on Legal Elbow Radio on Facebook mentioned, should he kind of back down and go down to some lower promotions and stuff like that? Stick with Bama, stuff like that. I kind of disagree, man. If he can get up in the top promotions and keep his training straight, I think a guy could really do good, man. I mean, because he's a top striker, man. I mean, he's proven to be a top striker. His wrestling's getting better, slowly but surely, man. It's getting there. Takedown defense is sick. Tyron Woodley looks great, man. I mean, the guy's very inexperienced, in terms of guys like Paul Daly. Top 10 and just outside of the top 10. Tyron Woodley is, with what Strikeforce has in his weight class, he was just kind of forced to the top. You know what I mean? Sometimes these organizations don't have a ton of fighters in certain divisions, so these guys that are doing really well kind of get forced right up to the top. You know what I mean? A la Ryan Bader, taking on John Jones or taking on Tito Ortiz, two guys that are really experienced, But moving along, man, amazing first round with Tim Kennedy taking on Robbie Lawler. Just a badass scramble from the get-go, man. It was just a sick-ass first round. Second round still looked really, really good. Both of these guys, to me, were extremely impressive. Really, really impressive in this fight. Kennedy kind of takes a nasty cut in the second round, man. A nasty cut. Lawler, just throughout the whole fight, Lawler had sick takedown defense, man. He's gotten better and better at that. I mean, he's always been good at it, but he's just gotten better and better at it. I think Robbie Lawler, I always kind of wondered, is Robbie Lawler anywhere he is? He's still looking really, really good, after all the wear and tear he's taken over all these years. He's been in the game a long time, man. I mean, you can't... Anybody going in to fight Robbie Lawler, man, it's going to be a fucking tough fight. It's going to be a fucking war, man. It's going to be, And Tim Kennedy, I kind of have my doubts. I thought Tim Kennedy, I don't know, man. This is going to be a tough one for Tim Kennedy. Tim Kennedy kept the pressure on, pushed the pace, and that's what did it, really. Like I said, man, a lot of these fights in here, man, the winners pushed the pace and kind of overwhelmed the losers of this whole card, pretty much, man. Pretty much. Kennedy takes 30 over Lawler, 27. All three judges saw it the same. Tarek Saffiedine takes out Scott Smith. Tarek Saffiedine is one of them fighters and is on his way up. He's on a very nice ramp up. Every time out, looks that much better and that much badass. I mean, the guy looks really, really good. Started out as started out with karate in his repertoire, moved on to wrestling, and then got into some jiu-jitsu. I mean, the guy's just well-rounded everywhere. Man, the guy's really good. And he will be a name that will be getting bigger and bigger in the next couple of years. I fucking guarantee that shit. Great win for him, man. He takes out Scott Smith. This is a question I have for everybody. Question I have, man. What's going on with Scott Smith? 3 losses in a row. Should he quit? Should Scott Smith quit? What do you guys think, man? You guys tell me. I love watching Scott Smith fight, whether he wins or loses. I mean, his last win was against Kung Lee, and Kung Lee, got redemption, came back and won the next fight. It doesn't matter what fight you see Scott Smith in. Scott Smith is always toe-to-toe and in there and ready to kick some ass. And a lot of times, he takes some nasty shots, man, and gets his ass kicked a bit, but comes back and knocks somebody the fuck out. You know what I mean? So Scott Smith is always a sweet fight to watch. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, but should he continue? Should he retire? You guys tell me, like I said, man. Misha Tate taking on Marloes Kunin. Same thing as the whole entire card, man. Like I said, man, Miesha Tate applies pressure, stays on her. It's a battle. First couple rounds, it's just the whole fight, man. The whole fight was a stinking battle. Great groundwork on both sides. Great striking on her feet. You know what I mean? I would say probably maybe Coonan probably looked a little better than striking in some points. You know what I mean? Very, very close fight right up until midway. Fourth round. Miesha Tate gets on top and just slides to the side, applies the arm triangle, gets the arm triangle choke. New bantamweight women's champion. Pretty sick ass fight. Another question I have for you guys, though. Another question: what organization is going to take over women's fighting? Because we all know damn well UFC is not going to have women's fighting, man. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but we all know it's not going to happen. If it hasn't happened yet, it's not going to happen. Unless there's like some crazy influx of women fighters coming out of just everywhere. I mean, I just don't see it happening. Women's MMA fighting is going to continue. Where do you guys see it happening? What organization is going to take over on it? You guys tell me, man. I've never, like I've said, man, in the past, I've never been a big fan of the women fighting. Usually on Strikeforce, they've had some good scraps with the women's fighting. Kaufman taking on Kermaush, badass fight. Kaufman taking on Coonan, badass fight. You know what I mean? It's just all around, man. There's a lot of really good fights. There's a lot of fights that I was kind of like, I was kind of on the fence about. It's like this fight leads to the rematch of Kaufman and Miesha Tate. So, and Kaufman is the only one to beat Miesha Tate. In Strikeforce, Kaufman has beat Miesha Tate. Miesha Tate's the new champion. Kaufman's looking for that belt. So, and Kaufman's fucking impressive, man. She's impressive. She's a badass chick. So, this should be a fucking barn burner, man. A friggin' barn burner. Fedor Emelianenko, if he loses to Dan Henderson, should he retire? Fans voted 57% yes. 43% no. What do you guys think? That same vote. Fedor taking on Hendo, man. Coming right out of the gate. Bombs a flying. It was a sick ass match. It was cool to watch, man. It was great to watch. But Serious MMA on MMA Topics Gang on Facebook. I reposted it on Illegal Level Radio on Facebook. I reposted it. He kind of went down to how he had a little discussion with Fedor after the fight without Fedor's handlers being around, kind of a thing, which I thought was really cool. That he got a chance to do that, because next to nobody is going to be able to get that shot. So, but he posted how he just got the feeling and the presence from Fedor that Fedor just, Fedor had his daughter. I can't even pronounce the name, to be honest with you. Humble guy. He's not taking. Fedor's the kind of guy. He doesn't take anything away from the guy that beat him. He's not the kind of guy to do that. He's not the kind of guy to go out of a fight saying, "Oh, bullshit," or whatever. He did mention that he thought the stoppage was a little early. I still, kind of weigh in his corner with, he's not the kind of guy to do that. He's not the kind of guy to sit there and say, "Oh, bullshit," He's not the kind of guy to talk trash. But Serious MMA on Facebook posted that. Basically what he went into was how he thought that, in the short time that he talked to Fedor kind of, his heart really hasn't been in it. Some people kind of disagreed on there, which is fine. No big deal, man. Any kind of pages on there or groups or whatever, there's going to be disagreements. There's going to be, arguments. Some people just get fucking downright ugly on shit, you know what I mean? So, it happens. It's to be expected. He just kind of looked at like Fedor is a really, really good natured, humble guy, that we all know that, you know what I mean, for the longest time now. And the guy doesn't have anything to prove to anybody. You know what I mean? The guy's been in the sport a long time. Things are starting to, wear and tear is starting to set in. You know what I mean? He doesn't have shit to prove to anybody. He's fought fucking roided out fucking giants in Pride and smashed them, or gotten smashed by them and still came out with an armbar or with a, some cases a knockout win. I mean, he's fucking been through the worst of the worst in Pride. And Pride was fucking sick, man. I mean, we all know Pride was fucking sick. There's a lot of... If anybody says that Pride didn't have any roided out fighters, you're fooling yourself. I'm going to go ahead and say it, man. You're fooling yourself if you think a lot of the guys in Pride weren't on roids. Japanese MMA don't test for that. There's tons of guys that would be on roids in that situation. Fedor? I don't think so, man. I mean, I don't think so at all. He's never had the look of somebody that's on roids, which you can't always go by that. But moving along, I thought it was a great post by Serious MMA. It's a good card, man. It was a good card, you know, good overall card for the whole night, you know. The tournament coming September 10th is going to be Silva taking on Daniel Cormier, which is stepping in for Alistair Overeem, which has recently been cut. Because I think, man, I don't know, maybe somebody found his reason for dropping on the tournament bullshit. Who knows, man? I have no idea. There's a whole other post on it, man. Go check it out. I posted, my thoughts on why Overeem was cut. So check out my channel and check out that video as well. But Silva taking on Cormier, that's gonna be fucking sick, man. Daniel Cormier is like, to me, he's almost like a Fedor type striker, but he's fucking just phenomenal in wrestling. Has a way of really kind of using the other fighters' weight against them. Kind of really just throwing guys around. You know, he's a shorter guy. I think he's like 5'8", 5'9", something like that. You know, not a real tall guy. Taking on Antonio Bigfoot Silva, man. Bigfoot Silva's got jackhammers, man. We all saw that. But, you know what? I don't know, man. I'm almost kind of weighing in the area of a Cormier. I think Cormier is a little... I don't even know the word for it, man. He's a little more slick. You know? Silva is just a straight-up badass. Fucking punch your fucking lights in. Tough guy. And good on the ground. Good everywhere, man, really. You can't take that away from him. But I just think that Cormier, it's kind of his time to shine a little bit. I think he's going to take this fight from Silva. A lot of guys are probably going to disagree with me and fucking beat me up on the internet over it. And that's fine. That's good. That's all cool, man. That's how it works. Another fight on that card is going to be Sergey Kharitonov taking on Josh Barnett. I think Josh Barnett's going to get that fight. Like I said, September 10th. It's going to be a sick-ass card. Just those two fights alone right there are pay-per-view worthy, in my opinion. It's going to be fucking badass. It's going to be a sick-ass night of fights. Kharitonov, I think, is going to do really well. Off his back, wherever he is, man, he's a fucking Class A phenomenal striker. K1 worthy striker. But I just think Barnett's going to be able to get inside, take it down, get a hold of him, take it down to the ground, and hurt him. You know what I mean? If it happens the other way around, man, I'm stoked and ecstatic for a guy like Kharitonov, because this is kind of right now, I think, is like the where he's really kind of at a major ramp up, you know, and really getting noticed, man, getting noticed and looking really good in his career. So, we'll see though, man. September 10th, fucking A. What do you guys think, man? Tarek Saffiedine, Tyron Woodley rematch? What do you guys think? I think it'd be a sick-ass fight because these guys have both drastically improved. So Tyron Woodley and Tarek Saffiedine rematch, what do you guys think? I think it'd be sick. Tarek Saffiedine looked fucking great in his fight against Scott Smith, a guy that is known as the comeback kid. Can easily come back and fucking jack anybody's jaw. So I think it'd make a great rematch. On average, I've noticed this, and I've kind of checked it out. On average, Hendo fights twice a year. And I would say after this fight, it's probably going to be even less than that. Whether we see Hendo fight again in the UFC, or excuse me, in Strikeforce, is to be seen. It'd be stupid to cut Hendo. But they already cut their other champion, their heavyweight champion, so who knows what other kind of stupid decisions they're going to make. Because they're making them all over the place. We all know the feud with Hendo and Dana White. They couldn't, maybe it's not a feud, I don't know, but it seems like anybody that doesn't agree with Dana, there becomes a feud. Could we see Henderson back in the UFC? Yeah, pretty damn good chance of it. Is he gonna fight before he gets there? I'd say maybe one more fight before they just completely shut down Strikeforce altogether. Pretty good shot of that. I personally think, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this, I personally think Fedor Emelianenko is the next cut for Strikeforce. He's lost 3 in a row. What's Dana's rule? You lose 3 in a row, you're cut. Strikeforce is playing under Zuffa rules now. They already cut Overeem. Who's next? Fedor Emelianenko, in my opinion, is going to be the next cut from Zuffa. Do I think Fedor fucking really gives a shit? Fuck no, man. Why should he? You know, he doesn't have nothing to prove to anybody. I think it's, you heard it here fucking first, man. He's going to get cut. You watch. And Dana's going to be laughing. And, it's, you know, thinking that he got the last laugh and whatever. And if you guys like the video, man, hit the sub button. Legal Elbow Radio on Facebook. LegalElbowRadio.com. You can head over there and check that out, man. See you next time, man. Take care, guys.